All right, ready for a deep dive into a film that's got everyone talking.
I'm ready. What do we got?
We Live in Time with Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh.
Oh, I've heard of this one. Lots of buzz.
It's generating some serious buzz, yeah.
And for good reason, it seems. It's not your typical love story.
Definitely not.
We Live in Time kind of blends those raw emotions, the gut punches,
Yeah.
with these surprisingly funny moments.
Right, right. And it really makes you think about time,
Yeah.
how we experience it.
It's like messing with your expectations in a good way. Okay, before we go any further, we have to talk about that poster.
Oh, here we go.
The one with Garfield and Pugh, all lovey-dovey.
With the psychedelic carousel horse.
Yes, the horse. It's like, what is even happening there?
That poster is practically a meme waiting to happen.
It's everywhere.
And Crowley, he's the director. He totally gets the humor.
I did read that. He seems to have a good sense of humor about the whole thing.
But it's like he's dropping this visual clue about what the film's really about, you know? Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Because, yeah, on the surface, sure, tearjerker. But it's also got this mischievous side, this absurdist streak. Kind of like life, right?
That's an interesting way to put it. So we've got laughter, we've got tears.
Yeah.
It sounds like Crowley's really walking this tightrope.
He is. He is. And what I find interesting is how he keeps it from being, just another love story.
Especially one dealing with serious illness, right? So you got to imagine that was a challenge.
Yeah, avoiding those cliches.
Yeah.
That was huge for him. He wanted to capture, the rawness of life, the joy, but also the gut punches. No sugarcoating.
I can appreciate that.
And then he throws in these absurd, unexpected moments. That's what really got me. Just like real life,
Reminds me of that scene everyone's talking about.
Which one?
The birth scene.
Oh, in the gas station bathroom?
That one. It's quite the scene, from what I've heard.
Yeah, talk about unexpected.
It sounds like it.
That scene, though, that was a turning point for Crowley. He actually hesitated to direct the film at first.
Really?
The subject matter. It's heavy stuff.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then he read that scene, that gas station bathroom scene, and it just clicked.
The absurdity of it all just balanced it out.
Exactly. It's got that dark humor mixed with the weight of the situation. Very real, very human. It's what makes the film so unique, I think.
I'm picking up on a theme here. It sounds like this story really resonated with Crowley, on a personal level even.
He's been very open about that, actually.
Oh, has he?
He said it wasn't just a job, this film.
Yeah.
It was about tapping into those universal human experiences.
I can see that.
And he wasn't afraid to let it be messy, uncomfortable even, because that's real life.
It's so important, though. Those stories that don't shy away from the truth.
100%.
To really connect with something, it's got to feel real.
And one way We Live in Time does that. Time itself. How it's presented.
What do you mean?
It's not a linear story. We get these glimpses, these flashes of different moments in their relationship.
Almost like piecing together a puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a puzzle.
So why do you think Crowley chose that approach? What does that add to the whole thing?
Well, think about how our memories work. They're not always linear, right?
Well, that's a good point.
1 minute you're here, then you're back there.
It's all jumbled up.
They're fragmented. They pop up when you least expect them. Crowley, with his nonlinear structure, he's mirroring that, letting us assemble the pieces along with the characters.
It's like he's saying, life isn't a straight line, so why should the story be?
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
And by doing that, he avoids all those predictable tropes, the illness movie cliches.
I see.
This isn't just about a diagnosis. It's about a life. Messy, beautiful, complicated, all of it.
It's interesting how he uses the structure itself to challenge our expectations of what a love story, or any story, really, can be.
And that's what makes Crowley's vision so compelling, I think. He's not giving us the easy version.
He's making us work for it.
He's inviting us to experience the full weight of their lives, and that stays with you.
It's interesting how you said experiencing the full weight of their lives. It made me think about how Garfield and Pugh, the actors, they really drew on their own experiences for these roles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like this film, this whole process, it got under their skin.
You can see that. There's that scene with Pugh's character, Almote, when she talks about her scar.
Yeah.
Is this metaphor for how our pasts shape us?
You mean the part where she talks about, it's a constant reminder of what happened?
Exactly. And get this, that scene came from a conversation between Pugh and Crowley.
No way. Really?
Yeah, they were talking about how our pasts stay with us, and it just ended up in the film.
Wow. That speaks to the level of, trust and collaboration on set. You
Yeah.
don't always hear about actors having that kind of input.
It's special. And you could feel that authenticity in their performances,
Right, right.
both Garfield and Pugh. They bring such honesty to these roles, a rawness.
They're not afraid to be vulnerable at all.
Not at all. They let it all hang out.
It makes you wonder, right, about the ripple effect.
How so?
Well, if they felt it this deeply while making the film,
Yeah.
no wonder it's hitting home with audiences.
Totally. It's like this shared experience,
Mhm.
recognizing those universal truths. Love, loss, time.
Exactly.
And it gets people talking, which I think is amazing.
Oh, sure.
People aren't just watching, they're discussing it, sharing their own stories.
Connecting.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly. Connecting on this deeper level. And that's rare.
It is. And, that's what gets me about art that really resonates, right?
What's that?
When it's more than just entertainment.
Okay, yeah.
It becomes something that fosters, like, empathy, understanding.
It's powerful.
It really is.
It's like a reminder that even though we all experience life differently, we're all connected
Yeah.
by these shared human experiences.
Yes.
And in a world that can feel so divided,
Oh, tell me about it.
that sense of connection, of shared humanity,
It's essential.
it's more important now than ever.
Okay, so we're talking about raw emotion, vulnerability. But I can't help but think about that poster.
Which one? We talked about the horse again.
We have to talk about the horse.
It's become its own thing, that's for sure.
The psychedelic carousel horse. It's a cultural phenomenon.
It's true. You don't see that every day, a movie poster becoming a meme.
Especially for a film like this, that's dealing with such serious themes.
It's kind of jarring when you think about it.
Right, you see that playful, trippy image.
And then, bam, you remember what the film is really about?
It's a trip.
But it works, because in a way, that poster is the film, in a nutshell.
What do you mean?
The humor, the absurdity, the heartache, it's all there. Crowley's not shying away from any of it.
It's like he's reminding us not to take ourselves too seriously.
Exactly. Even when things are tough, there's always room for a little whimsy.
Find the joy.
Yes. Find those moments of grace, those little sparks of humor.
Because those are the things that get us through.
100%. It's woven into the very fabric of this film. The characters, the story, everything.
It's funny how those little reminders, to not take ourselves too seriously, they can show up in the weirdest places.
Tell me about it.
Like a psychedelic carousel horse on a movie poster. Who would have thought?
Only John Crowley, apparently.
Right. But it makes you think, though,
About
how often we miss those moments in real life, those absurd moments.
Because we're so caught up in everything.
Exactly. Like life is messy and funny and heartbreaking all at the same time.
It's a roller coaster.
Mhm.
And sometimes I think we forget to, actually look around and see it.
100%. Crowley seems to be capturing that perfectly with this film.
He really does. He doesn't shy away from the big stuff,
Yeah.
the grief, the pain, but he also reminds you.
There's still beauty there.
Yes. And humor. Don't forget the humor.
Even in the midst of everything. It's a good message.
It's a really important one. We live in time. It's more than just a film, isn't it?
What do you mean?
It's an experience. It stays with you.
I've heard that from a lot of people, yeah.
It makes you think about your own life,
Yes.
your own relationships.
And how you spend your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe, hopefully, it encourages you to, embrace it all, the good, the bad, all the messy bits in between.
Because it's all part of the journey.
Yes. Beautifully said.
So for our listeners out there, the ones who are ready to, really feel something,
Buckle up.
what would you say to convince them to give We Live in Time a shot?
Go in with an open mind. Be ready for anything.
Because it's a wild ride.
It is. But it's worth it.
Couldn't have said it better myself. This has been an amazing deep dive.
I've really enjoyed it.
We Live in Time, a whirlwind of emotions, a psychedelic carousel horse, and a whole lot of heart.
John Crowley's created something really special here.
Absolutely. All right, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep questioning, and as always,
Keep it real.
we'll see you next time.